Hey, hi, welcome. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, okay, most women, like I said, that swipe left on people, on men, in real life, if they were to meet each and every one of these men for, say, oh, it would be a lot of men, but let's say they met each one of these men, okay, and they spent, I don't know, an adequate amount of quality time with these men in either a social setting, a work setting, whatever it is, a formal setting, whatever, it doesn't matter. And like with no expectation of relationship or anything like that, just spending time. I bet you they would fall in love with half the men. Probably more than half. Why? Because there's a thing I've learned about women over the years. When you engage with a woman, they tend to respond. Whether they want to or not, it's instinct. It's instinct. And you can exploit that to a degree. You don't want to be nefarious about it, but you can exploit it. And where does it start? It starts with eye contact. Now, women, I always give the opposite. I can't stress this enough. If you're a woman and you're not interested in a guy, don't make eye contact with him. Because instinctively, he'll take that as you're interested in him. Just because it's an instinct thing. It's not... It's the reptile brain taking over. Kind of like how women, see a man that's really fit and handsome and everything like that. She thinks, okay, well, they're like the hypergamy kicks in. It's like, oh, he'll be good to raise my kids. You know what I mean? But you can't always give in to instinct. That's called hedonism. So knowing this, okay, what does that teach you? Well, it teaches you that, okay, if you're one of those people, and I'm not talking about the guys that are so far gone, the incel types that are so far gone that, and they're really spurgy and everything. You really can't help those guys because they can't help themselves, right? I'm talking about a guy that actually is kind of normal, and he's a bit down on himself, a little conscientious about his looks and so on. Okay, just clean yourself up the best you can. Now become a people person. You could be the fattest, ugliest, guy out there, but if you could charm the pants off of people, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how much attitude is everything. Like I can't stress that. I've seen it. I talk about this biker guy I used to hang around, Boole or something like that, a French guy. His wife was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you want to use that rating, she was a 25. She was fucking gorgeous, and a really sweet lady too. Like just like she was kind of like Heather Locklear meets Claudia Schiffer in their prime. It was just, she was just stunning with or without makeup. This woman was just stunning. He had like a bowling ball shaped head with a dent in it. He had no neck. He was kind of short. He had to be 325 pounds. Yeah, he was hairy like a fucking ape. But this guy was so fucking funny and charming, and he was such a likable guy. Like if I was a chick, I would have done him. He was that guy. He was just that guy. And it was just the personality. He could say hi to anybody. He put a smile on anybody's face. I'd never seen a person like that in my life. This guy was just fantastic. He was fantastic. I mean, like 5 minutes after you meet him, your sides are hurting from laughing. He's just that guy. And the wittiness was just so on point. It was marvelous to watch. It was like, just watch this guy. You could see two guys about to kill each other with knives, in a biker bar. They're about to kill each other. Like, I'm going to kill you, man, for whatever. You looked at me funny, blah, blah. This guy would get in between the two of them and just make the two of them laugh. Like it was just, it was a skill and an art. It was magic. I've never seen anything like that. And that guy, there's not a woman that would swipe on Tinder that would swipe him the right way or whatever. It just wouldn't happen. Like if you were judging him just on his looks. Heart of gold. Fantastic guy. So this is my point. Like you'd say, yeah, that sounds more like a fairy tale and the exception to the rule. Yeah, it probably is a bit of an exception to the rule, sure. But in general, if you were just mildly better looking than this guy, you know what I mean? And if you've seen the woman he was married to, she was just wow. She was something else. And but it was all about personalities, and the two of them were obviously just like two peas in a pod, right? So you can't go by the internet that, oh well, if I don't have the right jawline, I can't get a girl. Shut up. Get the hand, hit yourself in the back of the head. Stop that. It doesn't work like that. What it works like is you are going to have to learn how to deal with rejection properly. As a Gen Xer, that's one of the things. Like, I've had more women tell me no than you could possibly ever imagine, but not all of them told me no. You know what I mean? And it was trial and error, and it was all on how you handled the rejection. Usually set you up for the next one. You know what I mean? Like, one girl will reject you. In fact, I had a friend, he was kind of shallow what he did, but he would get one of his female friends to go, well, before you go, just get a glass of water and throw it in my face, okay? I'll nod you when to do it. And she'd just call me a bastard or something. She'd do that and she'd walk out, right? And he'd end up picking up after that. It was his. They had a like kind of a. It was like this girl. I think she was a cousin or something like that. I don't know what she was to him, but anyway, she'd do this for him, and he goes, "Watch this, guys," and it would work like say 80% of the time. I'm like, okay, that's cheating. That's cheating. But he'd handle the rejection really, really well, and oh well. Don't worry, I paid for your drink anyway. Like that kind of stuff, right? And like the guy he's a bit of a slime, but come to think of it, but it worked because women would see that, oh, and the girl would go, well, what happened? Blah blah blah, and he, oh well, maybe I was a little bit too this, and he would just kind of like, not like he would kind of like put himself down, but in a good light. Kind of like, well, I was just trying to be funny, and I probably went over the top. I probably shouldn't have went that far, and blah blah blah. But like, it was my fault. I'm wrong. I was just trying to be sweet and like just really like he was smooth. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can use that for a force of evil for sure, and you could see how that could turn into why a lot of women have trust issues and stuff. But I'm like, you could also use the lesson of, okay, if you were genuine about handling your rejection, even because a bunch of things can happen here. Because if the woman handles your rejection, if she rejects you and she really, really, you get it both barrels. And I've had this happen to me. And you still handle it well. And you laugh it off or whatever. And no problem. And you don't just run away and, whatever, and then go on the internet and bitch how, evil women are or whatever. And you just take it. You know what I mean? You just take it because you're mad. It's like it's nothing big anyway. Other women do see that, and over time they see that, okay, well, this guy's not really that bad because, he gets rejected. Okay, the woman's not into him, whatever, but he doesn't seem like he's a psycho. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, oh, you bitch, blah, blah, blah. He's not doing all that stupid stuff, right? So learn to handle rejection. The other thing, too, is just where do you meet women? Well, the $64 million question, if people knew how to, like, meet people and say, well, just show up this place, this date and time, you'd be fine. You'd make $1 million if you could solve that riddle, couldn't you? Right? But I could look at it, until you can solve that riddle, where do you meet people? Well, when you meet people. How about instead of where you meet people, when you meet people? Well, obviously, if you're sitting in your house all the time on the internet playing video games or whatever, you're probably not going to meet too many people there. You know what I mean? So where do you meet people? Okay, let's see if we can squeeze one more in before the camera cuts off.